And good morning on February 1st. It's episode 349 of the 359. You know me, I'm BVG, and we are finally back. I apologize for the chaotic schedule. We're back. And here we go with Alfred Ng and Ben Fox Rubin.
We survived without you.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
Arguably better off.
Not really, but anyway, welcome back. Thanks for coming in. We've got a loaded show today because we're in the middle of tech earnings season. So we're going to start off with Facebook's earnings, talk about some of the troubles that they're having, trying to retarget their website, trying to make it a little bit friendlier and nicer, but losing some usage in the meantime while they're trying to retarget their audience and retarget their site. We'll also talk a little bit about Twitter bots. Alfred wrote a story about IoT home security that we'll jump into, and then we'll wrap up with Intel light show drones. You might remember them from the Super Bowl, which is coming up on Sunday.
What's a Super Bowl?
The Superb Owl.
The Superb Owl, which is my favorite. Apparently, we're going to get sued for saying Super Bowl because you're not allowed to say Super Bowl unless Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Woo! Anyway, send in your questions and comments. BVG will get to as many as he can at the end of the show. And let's get to the podcast.
All right, stick around. We're going to record the 4-minute podcast. Be back. Join you in the chat in 3 minutes and 59 seconds from 3, 2...
Welcome to the 359. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ng.
All is not well in the land of social media. Facebook reported earnings yesterday saying daily active users dropped in the US and Canada for the first time ever. Also, people are spending less time on the site. Alfred, do you think that this is just kind of a bump in the road that Facebook is facing while they're trying to retarget their site, trying to change things around a little bit?
I mean, if this is a bump in the road, this is a big bump in the road. I mean, I would say this is more like a dead deer that kind of jumped on their windshield or something like that.
So you think that there's going to be a continuation of less usage on Facebook and, some more problems that they're going to be facing?
I think people are starting to move away from it. I think that it's left all this fake news stuff and political discourse has left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. Mm-hmm. And, it's one of those things where a lot of people that I know, and this is purely anecdotal, I can't say this reflects for all of America, but, most people I know, are basically only on Facebook for, Messenger and events now. They don't want to be left out of somebody's birthday party, but I don't think they really care, what people have to post on it anymore. And you can see that from what Facebook has been doing to drive up engagement. You get these texts that are like, hey, did you see the comment that your friend made on this other photo? Or,
yeah.
Or
those push notifications. That. By the way, you're having a birthday party? I didn't get the event invitation.
Yeah, because I don't use Facebook.
One. Oh, okay. All right. That's a little awkward, but that's okay. What would you like to see Facebook actually do to change things around, or do you think that it's just not really working and maybe people are moving on to other concepts?
Well, they're trying to turn the car around now. They're trying to bring it back to, what it was kind of started on with this is just for my friends and my family and talking to them. But I think, they've gone too far now down this road where they really can't. I mean, people have come to know Facebook as a service for this. And, and I think the direction that a lot of people on social media are going toward, which is why you see Snapchat and Instagram, which Facebook owns, is so popular in the sense of, they are insular. It's Snapchat isn't about having a million friends. It's about having a small group of people that you talk to every day.
Smaller nodes.
Yeah,
tighter connections. We also wanted to touch on Twitter. They're grappling with a bots problem, but do you think that they can fix their bots problem, or do they even want to? In some ways, it inflates their numbers. They get to say that they have over 300 million plus users. A lot of those folks are bots, so they would take a significant hit to their reputation, and they'd have to say that they had negative numbers if they did kick off all their bots.
I think bots will be around on Twitter as long as influence is assigned to follower count. Mm-hmm. You could be extremely smart. You can have a lot of great insight, but if you don't have the follower count, people aren't going to think much of you. And I think that's where this bot industry really thrives on.
Okay, so Alfred, you also wrote today about the hassle of managing the security updates for all your Internet of Things devices. Tell me a little bit about that.
So the issue with, the rise of IoT devices is that you're going to have so many in your home, and it's going to be, really difficult to maintain updates for all of them. It's going to be your TV, your toilet that talks to you for some reason, your refrigerator, a toaster, all this stuff that's in your home that's connected online.
And it all needs to be updated.
And it all needs to be updated all the time. Think about how annoying it is for you to update just your phone,
or just your computer.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating. Now think about that with all your devices. So but that's a major security risk because there's so many IoT devices that can be hacked for botnets. So a lot of security companies have now come out with these routers that it all connects to that one router, and then it automatically pushes out the updates for them.
But it's going to cost you.
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea is, would you want to pay $10 or $15 a month to give up that hassle? A lot of people have said yes. A lot of people have said, I would much rather pay for that convenience than have to do all this for free.
It's kind of like insurance. Okay, last, I wanted to touch on a story that I wrote about Intel's drone light shows. They made a big splash at the Super Bowl last year. Expect to see a lot more of them this year. I got a chance to see the mini drones indoors at CES, and definitely there are a lot of videos of this online. Check them out.
Do you know if they're performing with Justin Timberlake?
I don't think they're going to be back at the Super Bowl, but it would definitely be pretty cool if they were.
Yeah, I saw them outside the Bellagio in Las Vegas, I was very cynical about it, but it did look pretty cool in person. So
Yeah. So if you want to read more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Ben Fox Rubin.
I'm Alfred Ng.
Thanks for listening.
So I got this new smart device. It's called a smart spoon. I don't know if we got this in the lab yet or not.
It tells you if you're eating too
much.
much?
It tells me what's in the spoon. It'll send a text to my phone and tell me what I'm eating.
Don't you have to take a picture of the spoon first, though?
You do?
Yeah.
And then you have to pay a $13 subscription fee annually so that they can keep that in the database. But it's all totally worth it. And it only takes 7 hours to charge. Like, I love where we're going with these smart
But you have a whole log
in-home...
of what you're eating later on. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
In case I forgot what I ate at 11:53 this morning. Spoilers, it was bacon. Not with the spoon, though.
I have a smart spork at home, and it did get hacked, and now some hackers
I can't eat.
I can't eat, and some hackers have all my credit card information and my social security number. But I would say that it's worth it because it's a good sport.
Usually you want to keep it offline, and if you do have to get it online, plug an Ethernet cord to it. So all my utensils
Smart utensils
have Ethernet ports on them.
Good. That's really important.
You should get the dongle for your plates.
I think, okay, so we're making fun of this, but I think I've talked to enough people in the industry, and I think it is true, seeing year over year how many things end up getting a wireless connection in your home, how many do end up going on Wi-Fi, that this is an inevitability. So what you wrote about, it is important. I don't know if it makes sense to do the like $10 or $15 subscription service.
I was generally frustrated by this whole notion. Everyone that I had talked to kind of pitched it as this like humanitarian effort kind of thing, where it's like
you're making money.
We have to protect everybody. We have to make sure that all these IoT devices don't get hacked because there could be a crisis. Also, give us a lot of money to do it. I was like, okay, like you can either be one or the other kind of thing.
A lot of security companies do that. They're just trying to scare you to a certain extent. But if it is a worthwhile service that does help people out, I mean, I know it's a lot of people have a hard time updating stuff, just the basic stuff.
Yeah.
So if something just kind of does it for you and it's out of sight, out of mind, then maybe it is worth the money.
I wonder if I can
hacks.
offer that myself as a service, just like door to door. Like
you wouldn't be able to work here anymore, but yeah.
Hey,
sure.
do you have any devices? I can update them for you for a fee.
Right. Get Ing. this move.
How about we take some questions from the chat? First and foremost, Matthew Datcher's asking if we have
What's
loud neighbors in the studio today.
Yes,
and, we always have
absolutely.
loud neighbors.
These are our buddies at Giant Bomb, and yeah, they play video games and they play them very loudly, and we're very happy to have them.
As you should.
We're very happy to have them as colleagues, but especially this week, they've been very, very enthusiastic about the games that they've been playing.
I think they're still playing Super Mario Sunshine. They've been running this as a long running project. But yeah, don't blame me. I didn't build this studio. I just have to deal with it. The installation is lackluster.
Well, you did build this studio, though.
Huh?
Didn't you build the studio?
Hands.
I didn't like put the walls and drywall up by hand or the insulation.
So yeah,
or lack thereof.
I was doing audio for the past 3 days, and if you listen very carefully, you will hear the Giant Bomb people yelling very loudly at certain parts during our podcast. We're trying to be very serious and talk about Apple, and they're like, "Oh my God, I made it to the next level."
Yeah, I call it an Easter egg. Josh Boyd has got a really good question. How is paying monthly for a secure router that different than paying monthly for your ISP?
So Comcast actually has something like this that they're planning on launching for their X-Fi tier of customers, where you know how like you pay for your router depending on what internet service you have, like
Right,
you pay
you're
yeah.
renting it from them.
Yeah, so they're doing that. It's going to be some new router that's coming with it that is like a security router. They're partnering up with Cujo, which is a smart firewall company.
And an angry dog.
Yes. But yeah,
Sounds expensive.
It-
Is it?
but
more
you're not buying
expensive?
the router though. You're technically renting the router, so you
which could be more expensive in the long run.
So it'll kind of be like you're paying your ISP for the internet service itself, but then you're paying another like 15. They haven't determined the price yet, but based off of patterns that I've seen with other subscription services, they're let's say like $10 to $20. So on top of like the already $80 a month that you pay for internet, that it's gonna be like this much for security now too.
So, and just to understand it correctly, so I have a smart fridge and a smart toaster and a smart television. The router is going to take care of the updates for every single one of those?
So if it's because it's all going to be connected to your router, and then it like scans online every day for like updates to all the devices, because all your devices have like a certain fingerprint on it. Like it knows that this is like a Samsung fridge or like and what model and stuff and all it is.
That, I can totally see the value of that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would personally spend $15 a month on it, but I
And
think that can have
and
value to
it's
it.
more than just updates too. I mean, there are devices out there that have like default passwords on them. So
Yeah.
if you had and you don't know that you can change them or something like that. So some routers will scan for all like devices that have default passwords, and it'll tell you like, hey, you should probably change this, and here's how you can do it, kind of thing, like through our app, as opposed to like having to type in your IP address in your like browser and then like going through that and then sifting through all your devices and stuff that way.
It is a nice kind of headache saver, but ultimately this is another one of those we made this problem for ourselves kind of situations.
Very good point.
Datch points out that he owns his own router and modem. Some ISPs don't let you do that.
Yeah.
I know I actually had to I had my own for a long time and had to take it out of the chain because they disabled it. I don't know why or what their logic or reasoning was behind it, but I actually had to go back and put the deposit down for their stupid box.
I bought mine through Verizon Fios, and I think that's generally, if you plan on keeping a service for several years, it does generally make more sense to just buy it outright, and that's what I did with
My
Fios.
ISP actually does let you buy your own router, but they won't tell me which ones are compatible with their services. That's totally cool.
Of course.
What a great thing to do. And I'm still renting mine only because I thought I'd have been out of that apartment in like a year.
Yeah.
It's been like almost 2 years now. So, I mean, I might as well just get my own. I just keep forgetting about it.
Wow, 2 years. That's tough.
Here's an interesting thought, and it might be a little presumptuous, but Kinpill, I think that's how the name is pronounced. Do you think that Facebook would go out with a bang? Now, again, presumptuous. I mean, if MySpace has lived this long, I don't think Facebook's going anywhere in a hurry. Granted, it's in a downward spiral.
I don't think any website has ever gone out with a bang, though. Like most of them just kind of like fade out and then like
fade into obscurity.
Yeah, and then no one uses it, and then
GeoCities.
but it's still there.
Yeah.
You know,
I think GeoCities is completely gone. But I think so. To
like
add
AIM
some,
didn't even go out with a bang.
So, okay, to add some additional information to what we were talking about, the usage numbers are really important related to Facebook because that's how they make their money. They generate money almost entirely through advertising, so they need a lot of eyeballs. The thing is that a lot of their general financial metrics were very good. We highlighted the ones that were problematic because those numbers tend to go up all the time, and so it's very notable when they go down. But sales were up nearly 50% to nearly $13 billion. Profit rose 20%. Monthly active users were up 14% to 2.13 billion. And daily active users were up also 14% to 1.4 billion. So Facebook's not going anywhere.
No, it's definitely not going anywhere, but it is kind of like a pretty widespread feeling amongst users where it's like, this isn't what I used to be.
Yeah.
I don't use it as much.
Yeah, but like Facebook, I think
my mom's on here now.
They did a really good job, though, of basically just worming their way into your life, whether it's through Messenger, events, you want to see how your friends are doing, baby announcement, wedding announcement, whatever. There's something that gets you to go on Facebook, whether it's every day or every month or every week or whatever.
I think that the better question to ask, though, is, do you think that you'll live to see the day that Facebook like is no longer like the premier like social network?
It's a great question.
Because
yes,
like,
probably. I mean, it would be amazing if they somehow existed in their like as a social media company as opposed to something else. by the time I die. Like, that's a long time from now.
Devil's
I
advocate.
hope.
I stay on Facebook, but I don't invest in it as much. I don't interact with it as much. It's like you said, Messenger and events. That's where I can stay in touch with people that, friends I have that are far away. This is the easiest way to, keep tabs on them, check in on them, say hi.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And for that, I still appreciate it. But as far as like entertainment value, it's garbage.
Yeah, for me, it's more of a lean back experience where I do kind of like filter through, see what's going on there, see what people are talking about. Most of the time, I find it kind of annoying because if I'm talking to my actual friends, I'm talking to them on WhatsApp or text message. It's the same thing that you were talking about with Snapchat, where it's smaller nodes, creates like more material conversation.
And that's why Instagram is so popular now too, because it's literally, you just look at photos. There's really none of like the whole, packaged BS that comes with it of like, this is why our country is awful. Like, stuff that
I love my wife. Happy anniversary.
No, I see anniversary photos on Instagram though.
Yeah, well, I find those also annoying.
I
Whatever,
hate my
it's fine.
wife.
If anybody does that, I'm not gonna trash you for it. It's fine. Well, I already did. But
How dare you enjoy the company of your loved ones?
We have a perspective from an ISP technician actually in the chat right now. Freynell, thank you for chiming in. This is actually good information. And you kind of forget that there's always two sides to every story. And he says, hi, guys, I'm a technician for an ISP company. The advantage of leasing a modem is that the modem, if it goes bad, the company's going to replace it for you free of charge as opposed to, that's on your own bankroll
it's
on that
also
one.
If they, and I remember the ISP tech that installed mine did say that if they do update it, then you just rent the updated version as opposed to you're holding the bag with the old one that you've already purchased. So those are a very good point, and thank you very much for chiming
I love
in.
ISP
Absolutely.
technicians. I've always I always really appreciate all the advice that they give me.
And I feel so bad for
I
everybody in
think-
their social media as well.
I generally just think that like ISP technicians get a bad rep because of the companies that they work for. I think most people are angry at the companies and not like
The techs themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I don't want to go into detail on this one, but Danny Green made a comment about some shady business going on with a very specific ISP provider. And,
oh yeah, they're being sued for it.
I know exactly where you're going through, Danny.
There's literally a New York City like prosecution case against them for it.
Really?
I wrote about them.
Oh my God, I hate him so much.
Wait, why can't we? If we've written about it, we can
Go for it.
The Attorney General's office,
it Spectrum?
it's Spectrum. The Attorney General's office put out a statement against. Originally, it was Time Warner Cable
That they're throttling. They're saying like you can handle the speed, but they're totally throttling on you and BSing.
Yeah,
you,
I
lying.
remember reading through the court documents, and it would basically be like, it's completely impossible because the modem that they give you, it like isn't even capable of reaching this speed. So it's just so they were forced to like issue replacements and stuff, but you had to be aware that they were offering it. It's not like they were going around saying like, hey, we're being sued, by the way. Do you want a new free router? It's kind of like you kind of had to know that it was going on to get one. This might only be in New York, though, because it was the New York Attorney General's office that was doing it. So
Yeah, and then they wonder why people hate and don't trust them. So
I swear, Spectrum and like Live Nation should just get into bed with each other and like.
that would be a terrifying combination.
We got a couple of comments about Facebook from Michael Brown, our old buddy Michael Brown. Has anyone
Michael
noticed how
Brown.
Facebook is switching to be more like Google Plus? He expands. Google Plus is interest-based, has been for years, hence still having a strong niche user base. And there's a conversation going on about trying to get people more involved with groups, not to mention third-party logging capabilities of Facebook and how it's just kind of like bled into every little bit and corner that has less and less to do with you and your personal interactions and your actual friends. But isn't that what Zuck said a few weeks ago? How we're going to like retool the news feed so that it's more about the people in your life, not the places?
Yeah, and more impactful or more important conversations. The problem is to me that seems incredibly forced because doing it on Facebook, which is a very big platform where some people follow or they have friends with like thousands of folks. You don't really want to like spill your guts every day about how you feel or whether you feel good or bad on any particular day. It does kind of make sense that if you are going to share certain things like that, you would with a smaller group of friends. And that's been Facebook's problem, I would say, for a long time. Whether they're going to actually successfully do that and make it more interest-based, as Michael Brown mentioned, I'm I don't know. They would have to find a way to have people use groups a little bit more often.
I mean, they had been
they
had been prioritizing Facebook groups for a little bit. I don't know if that's still their mission now, but there was a period of time where like Facebook groups were like the thing that Facebook was like trying to go all in on, where
right, because that's how social interactions work.
Yeah.
You know, like that's whatever. I mean, I guess you guys can come to like Thanksgiving, but it would be a little strange, you know. So whatever.
All right, we got one more before I call it a day. Imagine Sagi says, it's basically criminal that Twitter doesn't capitalize on the tons of free advertisement with TV shows and movies and ad campaigns use hashtags. That is, I never thought about that before.
I've totally thought about that. I totally
Wait,
agree
what do you
with
mean?
Imagine Sagi.
I'm sorry, I don't get it. What's the issue?
I think he's trying to say you look everywhere now. Every billboard in New York has the Smurfs movie, hashtag Smurfs Rock, and how Twitter doesn't actually monetize that.
And every single
why would they be able to monetize that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like news
Should they?
reporters do like the ad. You know, this is
they don't. Yeah, but they don't own like
Every
the hashtag.
newscaster's got their Twitter in their handle, the present company included.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they don't own the hashtag or the at symbol. Though.
No, they don't. But
Could
like,
they have?
I mean, I don't know. It's like saying like all these people that have like email addresses, or like Gmail addresses. Sorry, whereas like what they should be monetizing off of that too. I don't.
At a minimum, they should be capitalizing and benefiting from the fact that they get so much free advertising for it. I mean, like it really is. Like you'll probably
Sure,
see
it's
it
not
on
like people
Super
are
Bowl
using these
commercials.
hashtags on like Facebook or something, which they do have hashtags, but it's not like people don't like think like when they see hashtags, they're like, oh, I should look up this hashtag on Facebook. Most of the times they're probably going on Twitter for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they get the free advertising already. I mean, like people go on their website and then they can boast like these numbers and then they can get money from advertisements based off of that.
Yeah. And they should be doing a much
And
better
they
job
actually
at it.
have been monetizing the hashtags, but with the little like custom emoji thing that you get on like certain hashtags. Like they pay Facebook for Twitter for that service.
So
they
that's
have been
one.
monetized.
So
there's
that's
one
one
way that they
thing
are
that
doing
they
it,
could
yeah.
be doing. Okay. Well, that is fairly recent, and hopefully they're making some money doing it.
We got one for the road that just popped up. Joey Brow says, is it me or has Facebook completely lost its appeal? What is the next big thing in social media? And I feel like we need to have Brian Cooley in the room to answer this. But there's a thought. We've seen the very brief flutter of Snapchat. We've seen Instagram kind of hold tight, even though that's technically Facebook now. We've seen Twitter somehow stay head above water. What would be the next big thing in social media? Alfred, I feel like this one's for you.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like I said, I think it is going toward more like temporary content and like closed off content. I think that's why, even though Instagram completely
So anti-social media.
even though Instagram completely stole, Snapchat's stories concept, like I think people resonate with that idea a lot of like, this isn't gonna last forever. This isn't gonna be like as a part of my identity, because I think a lot of young people now that are like growing up with technology all around them are starting to realize that everything that you do online is logged forever, kind of thing. And in the sense of it's not. I look toward like the young crowd when I try to see like what's going to be happening next online, and or like what the next big trend is or something like that. And I think they're moving towards something like this isn't logged forever, and the idea of why do I need like 3,000 like something friends when I only talk to like maybe 15 of them.
7.
Yeah, and there is a potential for somebody to take that crown, but I would probably say that one of the ones that's in the best position to do it is WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is owned by Facebook. So because I tend to use WhatsApp a lot, and I've been using it for
Well,
years.
it's especially beneficial and international, right?
Absolutely. That's why I started
Yeah.
using it. One of our friends moved to Israel, and it was really easy to stay in touch with him
Without
a group of
extra
friends.
fees.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's the thing, is that Facebook was smart enough to gobble up some of its potential competitors before they got big enough to really challenge the company.
Well, yeah, they also tried to buy Snapchat.
Yep.
And then when they said
For the
no-
same
yeah,
reason.
Yeah. I mean, they know who's coming after them, and they have the money to just say like, we'll pay you this much to be our friend instead.
Yeah, and like socializing on virtual reality, by the way, Facebook also has a lock on that, or they've definitely like cornered that with Oculus. So
Right.
I think Zuckerberg is very smart in recognizing certain places where this is where we are today, but where might we be, 3 to 5 years from now? He's certainly had some good foresight with that.
Scott thinks that the next big thing is going to be a brand new, never before seen platform that's still to be determined kind of situation. I think that might be the case. I think we are on the hook to develop it right here in this room. Let's get right on it.
Didn't
Good
we
food
already
for thought.
talk? Isn't the next big social platform like Smart Spoons?
Yes, absolutely.
We just did it.
Yeah. There you go. Smartspoons.com.
Smart spoons. Okay.
Oh,
Keep a lookout,
now we
guys.
have to buy that.
No, I already bought it.
Oh, you did? Okay. All right, cool. Buy
Go
a
fund
smart
me.
spoon.
All right, that's it. That was a good conversation. Sorry we only had one live show this week. That's my fault. A little scheduling conflict, but we're back for real this time. I know I've said it before.
And we're getting close to episode 359.
359.
This is the 359, episode 359, where we are cooking up something special for everybody. More to come later.
We'll fill you in
on
with more
that.
details. But yeah, come
Okay.
on quick. Ben, want
That
to
is
take us
right.
home?
The 359 podcast is available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, FeedBurner, Google Play Music, Amazon Echo, and of course,
It's on CNET.com.
Thanks, everybody. Also, Apple and Amazon earnings are tonight, so look on CNET for those, and we'll see you on Monday.
Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles!